What's up, leaders? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Lead From Here podcast. I'm Jason. Today we were talking about callousness versus toughness, and I think this is something that I personally didn't even know the difference of or really could differentiate between until I read the book Do Hard Things by Steve Magnus. If you kind of look at the old school definition of toughness, and you look at how football teams are ran or the military's run or all those things that ultimately make you tough, it's essentially like blindly pushing through adversity, and that may sound like effective, and people look at the military and say, look, they do it. And if you really think through how the military works, you're talking about boot camp only, right? You're looking at a way to take a big group of people that want to do a specific job or jobs in the military, and you're trying to whittle them down to the people that can actually stand it. So yeah, it's really tough at boot camp. They're going to bust your balls. They're going to run you into the ground. They're going to try and break you mentally and physically to see if you can withstand it and be ready for what's next, which is when you actually get into the toughness building. That's when you build people up and tell them, these are the skills you have to have, and now I'm going to go put you in the woods and you need to figure it out for like SEER school and things like that. Like the toughness part is not boot camp. That is absolutely probably one of the toughest things that anybody ever does from a military perspective when it comes to the preparation of it. But when they're actually building tough people like the Navy SEALs and all that stuff, they're going through a separate training that is meant to build them up to be the soldiers that they are. That is something that is missed, and too many people focus on the boot camp portion of it, thinking that that's going to build toughness. That doesn't build toughness. That shows the people that have the ability to be tough in the long run, but it doesn't actually build long-term sustainable toughness. What you're talking about, and the way a lot of teams and companies are run, is the power and control, the being more callous. You're being a person that is really trying to be harsh and hard, and that is telling your people that putting on a facade of toughness is more important than actually being able to handle stressful situations. And that's where real true toughness and the new modern definition of toughness and what research has actually shown makes people tough is not just saying I'm not afraid of anything. It's understanding how your mind works, how your body works in high stress, high discomfort situations. That's what toughness is being able to go internal and understand what's happening in your mind, in your body, and be able to understand that so you can make solid, competent decisions no matter the situation. I am not a Navy SEAL. I don't know very many Navy SEALs, but what I can tell you is from everything I've read and everything I've heard, that the reason they're the best at their job is because they do a ton of training. They are most likely the best trained group in the world. That is why they are such badasses. Not only because they're just badass people in general, but because they are so well trained. Too many companies, too many leaders think that being a hard ass and just treating people like crap or telling them that they just need to suck it up and deal with it, that's the way to lead a company or a team, and that is not an effective way. You're not building people up to be able to make good decisions and do the right thing and do it under high stress pressure from the customer or from competitors when you're not there to be the asshole to make them do it. I know it sounds like I'm being harsh in this situation, but ultimately this mindset is still widespread throughout the corporate world, and that you need to be an asshole to get things done, and that is not the case. You're getting people to respond to fear and control and power. All of those things, when you're not there, go away. There may be a small window of time where they kind of try and punish themselves or kind of feel that way, but they're not going to do that when you're not there. So you're not setting them up to be successful on their own as individuals or as a team. You're setting them up to be really good when you're there and terrible when you're not. That's why a lot of professional athletes are fantastic professional athletes. As soon as they get out of sport, they don't know what to do because they've been highly trained to do this one thing. And a lot of it's been done the old school callous way through fear, power, control. You're going to run laps. You're going to have to work out extra. You're going to have to stay longer. You're going to have to run the stadium. You're going to do all these different things that athletes have to go through to get through their training and their preparation for games and things like that. At the core of all of this is you're talking external versus internal. You, being a leader, are an external influence. If all you're doing is making them, you got to do this because I said so, or because this is what has to happen, or you just need to suck it up, you're not creating resilience. Resilience is not built by blindly pushing through adversity or discomfort. Resilience is built by understanding how somebody Resilience is built by somebody when they understand what's happening, how they're responding to it, what's happening in their body, what's happening in their head, what's happening in the environment around them. When they can understand all those things, they're going to be able to make great decisions whether you're there or not, or whether there's somebody from the oversight like your boss or your peer. They're going to be able to make that decision on their own and make the right decision, or make closer to the right decision, or where they'll be able to maintain a clear head and make the appropriate decisions in times of high distress or high discomfort. People need to be able to feel what's happening in their body, what's happening in their mind, what's happening in their environment, and be able to understand and process and take the time to figure that out. If you're there externally, constantly in their ear telling them they're not doing a good job, or they need to work harder, or they need to push through it, that is external motivation. And as soon as that's gone, your people do not know what to do in those high pressure situations. They're looking to you to make a decision. You're not there. Now what? Now you can't take vacations. Now you can't, get promoted. You're stuck where you are because you've built a team that cannot do things in high pressure situations without you. So there's no way your boss can be like, yeah, we'll pull him out because that team's going to fall apart. No way. You're stuck. And that's not what I want for a leader. That's not what I want for I want your teams to live like that, but I also don't want you to live like that as a leader, because in the long run, you also have to be able to do the same thing for yourself. So if you're in a situation where your bosses are the same way, you have to find a way to block the external and focus on the internal. I realize I'm probably rocking the boat a lot of people right now, and I'm probably sounding a little extreme, and people are probably not really happy with me at the moment at this video if you even made it this far. But ultimately, I promise this is really important for you to understand as a leader. Power and control are no longer the way to get the best out of people. That is not how it is. We have so much research to back that up. Read, do hard things, and I promise you will have all the data you possibly need to make this a thing. But that's it. You just got to let them focus on the internal and help them work through that instead of telling them what to do or making them fear punishment of some sort, because that will not be a long-term solution for you, your team, or the company. Just try and focus on helping them build the best versions of themselves that can handle those high pressure situations. You will be much happier, they will be much happier, and you will all be way more effective. Hope this is helpful. If you disagree, please hit me up, jason@leadfromhere.co. I'm always up for a good conversation. If you like what you're hearing, please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Would appreciate it. Otherwise, take care.